Lip balm!
Where's my per diem?
Ladies and gentlemen, the car on the land. Beggars go to bed. Hey, Bobby, where's the keys to the rental car?
Turn it off. The show in Atlanta, please.
Don't ever start a band!
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Neighborhood Training at the Falmouth Fire and Rescue Department. Here we are going to be working on breaking apart Sandwich Road. We're going to take it in two sections. We're going to take in the lower section, what I call, for this presentation anyway, we'll call Sandwich Road South or South Sandwich Road, and then we'll work on kind of a middle portion of Sandwich Road, which will, the dividing line will be Brick Hill Road, and we'll take it from Brick Hill up to say Thomas Landers, and then future episodes will take it beyond that. But this week we will concentrate strictly on the southern end of Sandwich Road from Teachicate Highway on up to Brick Hill Road. And as you can see, the advantages for this Google Earth map is this section right in here. And as you can see right from this, that there is you know, some still some treed areas, some forested areas around this area here, and by and large it is mostly all residential. We will just go a quick little overview from the Teachicate Highway area on up. We won't spend too much time here, but obviously at the entrance we have there's a bank here, and then the Teachicate School, and primarily all up and through here we have the residential buildings, some small farms. And the houses on Sandwich Road are kind of varied. It's still somewhat of an older section of Falmouth, so we do have some cottages still. Some of them as small as 600 square feet. And some of those are being torn down and replaced by some bigger houses. We do have some shorter roads here. We have Pena Lane, which has a couple of houses on it, and as you can see here, we have some property with some farmland still in the back. Just basically scrolling down. When we drive down Sandwich Road, we basically just see the fronts of these houses, so we really don't see what's going on over and above, and this gives us a good viewpoint here. Here we're looking at the Cape Verdean Club. This is the Falmouth Greenhouse. This is the former eatery. And in a previous episode we mentioned about some greenhouses on Percival Road, and those are them there. We will talk about some duplexes here that are very close together, multifamily homes. It's always something we key in on. There is a business in here, I believe it's like a marble tile business here, and then RJ's Variety Store, which has recently added a domicile, I guess we could say, to the rear of the store. And then we have Sand Hill Farm Road here, which runs into some sand pits, and Berry Hill Circle. And then at the intersection with Brick Hill, we do have this Courtyard Apartments here, which has duplex apartments in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 duplex apartments on a small lot, multi-families. So that just gives us a quick overview of that. I'm going to run over to this map here, as we usually do. A little bright there. Okay. Okay, we'll wait for this to fill in here for a second. And while we are looking, the change in the colors is basically looking at the rescue and fire districts. And once again, I'm just going to pull down, wait for this map to fill in here a little bit. Seems to be a little slow today. Oh, wonderful. Okay, there we go. I'm getting somewhere now. Okay. Well, we're a little slow to fill in. Okay. And basically this is the same map. I like this sometimes better than the Google Maps because we get all the vegetation and everything else in there. And here we are strictly looking at where the buildings are and the driveways and so forth. And as you can see in some of these properties here that they are kind of set back off the road. This one here we won't be able to see any fire conditions or anything from the road, but basically the addresses run from 4, I believe it's on up to 240, which is at the intersection of Brick Hill Road. And this is all headquarters response district. Where East Falmouth is second due. And basically we do have hydrants throughout this section of Sandwich Road, but there is one particular aspect of it that I did want to point out. Okay, and here's we mentioned before, there's not too many roads or developments off of this. A lot of these lots are very small. That was the other thing I wanted to point out here. So unless they start combining lots, there's not really going to be like, unless they really combine these lots, this area here is not going to become one giant subdivision because of all these little small lots. So I think pretty much this area is going to stay the same. Here's Pina Lane here, 2 or 3 houses. But as I mentioned here, one aspect that we do need to be aware of on Sandwich Road is even though it does have hydrants, the gallons per minute are really not that high. Here we have one here that's like 550, and actually the one that I was really particularly interested in here is the Cape Verdean Club. Here's the eatery, here is the greenhouse, and here we have a hydrant here that supposedly is rated only for 480 gallons a minute. So that is a concern for me, especially where we do have these multi-family units right up in here. So on this lower end of Sandwich Road, we have barely 500 gallons a minute. On the other side of Sandwich Road, from Brick Hill on up, we have 1,000 gallons a minute. So just something to be aware of when we're just those little response things. This is Percival Road, runs off. We have a little road here, Gonzales Lane. There's I believe there's only one house right up in here, but there is this lot up in here. It looks from the map that they do have some farming going on up in there. So we could possibly have a farm accident or something with organophosphates or different fertilizers. And this is Sand Hill Farm Road. Now, even though this is showing in a different color here, this lot here and this here is still part of the headquarters district. I'm going to see if we can't get the GIS people to change this lot so it isn't headquarters. And we have Berry Hill Road, which there's 5 or 6 houses around there. That's a fairly new development. And then we get up to the intersection with Sandwich Road, and we have these courtyard apartments right in here. And this is where we're showing the break off between the anything to the north in the Brick Hill Road exit is Brick Hill Road area here. On this side is East Falmouth. So in here we'll see just a perfect example of what we were talking about before about the hydrants. Here we're showing a hydrant of 580 gallons a minute. Here we have one right at the intersection here of 1,300 gallons a minute and on up. So just that is something we should be aware of as fire personnel, that type of situation exists. But we do at least have hydrants all the way up there. The exception of Sand Hill Farm Road and Percival Road do not have hydrants. The topography here is relatively flat. These were farms at one time, and So the strawberry farmers and so forth, this is relatively flat, infertile land for what Falmouth had to offer, and it has remained so. And if the only area that is really zoned for business in this district is this area right here, Gonzales Lane in Percival Road. So that's why we have that little cluster of businesses, the RJ's Variety Store, the greenhouse, the eatery, so forth. This is the one area here that's zoned for business. Okay. And what we will do now is we will just shine in on a few aspects of it, different aspects of the different photos and stuff that that went down. A lot of them, some of them are obvious, some not so obvious, but a few things, to point out. I try to pick out something beyond the norm. In Sandwich Road, here we have a lot of duplex houses here. This is the Courtyard Apartments. This is one of the duplex that we have here. They're looking at here, they're pretty well numbered, easy to find the number. And let's see if this one will come up. And here we go, 240 Sandwich Road, and then it shows the apartment numbers within there. I believe there's 15 units in here. I think there's 7 duplex buildings and 1 single building in here. Let me take a chance that this will be the one that I want. No, just shows the signed Courtyard Apartments. Okay, all right, that wasn't too exciting. All right, yeah, as if any of this is really exciting. Okay, all right, and here we have a 1, 2, 3 duplex apartments on one lot of land. This is right next to the Falmouth greenhouse. There is these 3, plus there's a house out in the front here, which we can't see. That is also a duplex apartment here. Just to be aware, multifamilies always present a greater life hazard than single family. And I believe we did at one time recently, I believe one of the shifts, I think it was Lieutenant Thrasher, had a small fire inside one of these places where there was smoke condition in here, where there was a little baby inside. So, and the access here is a little tough to get in and out. So just be aware that those places exist. For the most part, this section of Sandwich Road is single family with the exception of the businesses. Well, that's the one that there. Okay. Yeah, we will go on. We just want to pick up on RJ's Variety Store. Everybody drives by it, which is fine. And for years, and you can see obviously here, this is the, this is a small ranch type building that it kind of personifies this section of T-Ticket. Basically single family dwellings, a lot of small cottages. But here we are, RJ's Variety Store used to be the front building. And now they've added a Cape style, 2-story Cape style to the rear of it. And I would imagine that that's not part of the business. I would imagine that's actually a residence back there. So, we would present with a business fire in front and with impingement on a residence or vice versa. So, okay. Okay. I think we're going to hold off on that for another time. And let's see, I don't think we need to look at this map here. We'll take a quick look at it. Basically, I like to look at this map and just because it gives me a good quick overview of if I have any areas in here that are without water and anything that comes out glaring to me. And obviously here we're talking about this section of Sandwich Road. Most of the developments off to the side have water pipes running into it. Percival Road over here obviously does not. We talked about that before. We do have some conservation land properties here, here and here that won't be built on. And that's basically it for that. Okay. And now we will just do a quick review. I want to keep this presentation relatively short for now, and then we have some long presentations when we get an opportunity to do some short ones, and we certainly want to do that. So we're talking about Sandwich Road. This is the south section here, T-Ticket, and this is really the heart of T-Ticket. Once we get beyond the Brick Hill Road, that end of Sandwich Road really becomes almost into Hatchville and East Falmouth. But this section is the southern part of Sandwich Road, and obviously Trotting Park and T-Ticket Highway are all part of, really the village of T-Ticket, which is. But here we go, 4 to 240. It's headquarters district with Station 5 second due. Okay, we mentioned before about the hydrants. Okay, and we saw some actually being about 480, so 500 to 600 only. So we do get a house fire going. We can't be looking at getting more than 2.5s going, which for a fully involved fire, residents, one of those fully involved buildings there, that's about what we're going to need. And there's nowhere else to go for water. A lot of times we can pull off another grid or another main somewhere. This isn't the case. Best we might be able to do is pull from T-Ticket Highway or from Sandwich Road, where it meets with Brick Hill, and bring it in that way if we need more water. So, all right, so it is primarily residential, single family, wood frame. Some of the smaller sizes, really there are a lot of 600 square foot cottages there. There are some newer ones, 2,000. There are quite a few multi-family units that are on there, mostly all duplexes. I haven't seen anything more than that. Plus there are some accessory apartments. The business areas at 140 to 170, where we have Cape Verde and T-Ticket Gardens. The used to be called the Eatery, now it's something else. I can't remember right at the moment. In RJ's Variety, Sandwich Road, Pina Lane. These are all small roads here. Pina and Gonzale, 1 or 2 houses on them. Sand Hill Farm, same thing. Berry Hill has about 6. The hazards, basically, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Single family, multi-family, greenhouse in the business areas here. We have pretty good response to this area here. Headquarters is about 2.5 miles. Station 5 is about 2 miles. So this is to the upper end of Sandwich Road. Obviously, if we move back 1/4 mile, which is not that far, this is from basically from the 240 Sandwich Road, or 214, right, almost right by Brick Hill Road. So 25 and 21 will get there roughly the same time, and the third due engine will also get there roughly the same time to pick that up. So we're going to be assembling a crew pretty quick. If those aren't available, we have the other engines are about 12 minutes away. I mean, so that about wraps up this section of the neighborhood training, and that's about it. So till the next time, stay safe and eat healthy.